What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in to another Bossly segment in the Bossly Cafe. Today I decided to do a story time. Now, the jewel in today's story time is based on the power of influence. A lot of people have influence where sometimes without saying a word, you have the people that are around them that'll jump out the window in order to prove their level of authenticity or their level of loyalty to the individual with influence. Now, a lot of us that have influential characteristics sometimes we use them in the wrong manner. Use them for personal gain, use them for personal agendas, not realizing that you have people around you who are looking to follow you to the end of the earth and back. Now, some people may call them crash dummies, some people may call them devout followers, supporters, homies, friends. It depends on how you look at them, the perception of the individual with the influence and how he handles them. Now, a prime example of this is like this. When I was up north, I did 6.5 years behind the wall. And then my classification dropped and I went to a medium. Now, when you get to a medium from a max, you got a different perception from everybody. Everybody looks at you differently. Everybody treats you differently. You carry a different aura because you came from a different level of imprisonment, a different level of security, a different level of violence. So now, when you get to these mediums, 9 times out of 10, you're more in tune with the culture. You're like the go-to guy. You know all the information, you know all the politics, you know all the new codes, et cetera, et cetera. So when you get to a medium, if you already are a person in position, it's even worse. Now it becomes to the point of groupies, crash dummies, because you have individuals around you who want to prove something without having to prove anything at all. Now, a prime example of this per se, keeping it on me. When I first left Auburn, I was in Auburn Correctional Facility for almost 2 years. And being that that was the only facility that I was ever in long enough without catching a tier 3 ticket, my classification dropped and I made it to a medium. Now, only reason why that happened is because I finally landed around dudes like Robo Just, rest in peace, Robo Just, and I landed in, a social circle on where I was respected a little higher than others. So now, with that being said, when I got to a medium, I had a big name already. My name was really circulating was a popular dude. So now when I got to a medium, it was so many dudes that were just dying to meet me, dying to greet me, dying to salute me. It was like, damn, that niggas is making me hot. Now, and I said, they making me hot. The police, all they do is they sit on their post and they observe us. They sit there and they watch all day. Now you're the new guy. You pull up to a new facility, and everybody's coming to you. Everybody's coming to talk to you. Everybody's going out their way to shake your hand. The next big question in their mind is, who the fuck are you? So now you got the heat on you. That usually comes with a cell search, a cube search if you're in the medium. You're on your way to the yard, they pull you over extra, search you, pat you down a little extra harder than everyone else. You know, all things like that come with that. So I remember, shout out to my son Mo, because he could actually come and be a tell. He could tell his version of this story. I remember when I got to Riverview from Auburn, my first day going to the mess hall. Now, mind you, coming from behind the wall to a medium, there's like certain security checks. There's certain security questions you ask for your own awareness to know what's going on in your new facility. So now I pull up, we in the mess hall, I ask a couple of the homies, yo, like, what's the situation? Who got beef with who? Are there any Crip niggas here? Because now at the time, this is when we weren't really living like that in accordance. Like, this is when we were still beefing. Bloods and Crips would be going at each other. They had a certain code that, or not code, but a certain phrase that used to be like, yeah, I can't live here. Like, basically, Crips couldn't live in a facility with the homies in this era. So now, that was one of the questions I asked, because, you know, being behind a max, we usually come up with a preconceived notion that a lot of dudes in the medium, they be playing, they be part-time, they don't be serious. And that's because 9 times out of 10, a lot of them are on short bids. They coming in and out, going right back home. So now to a dude that's doing life in prison, doing 1,000,000 years, he'll look at an individual like that, like, man, he's not willing to make the same sacrifice that I'm willing to make for the culture. I ain't even trying to really deal with him like that. Like, so you got a lot of stereotypes that come from maxes, looking at mediums like they're soft, and then mediums automatically assuming max niggas are tough. Like, you know what I mean? It goes both ways. It bounces back and forth. So now, when I get to the mess hall and I ask the homie, I say, yo, so, yo, there's any Crip niggas? But I said disrespectful word. I say, yo, there's any Crip niggas here? And he was like, yeah, one of them niggas just pulled up in the other reception door. Because now, even though they have a reception door, which was G2, if I'm not mistaken, they put me in G1. So now, when I'm in G1, they got a Crip dude who just pulled up a couple days ago in G2. And when I asked the question at the table in front of all the homies, they like, yeah, da-da-da-da, such and such. So now when they bring it up, it automatically throws the heat on whatever homies that were in that dorm with them. It automatically throws the heat on whatever other homies that were housed in the same housing unit. Any homies that was in G2 now start getting looked at by the rest of the homies like, uh-oh, who's gonna have to put that work in? Who's gonna have to get their hands dirty? Like, now, as much as people try to come on the internet and glorify that the gangs and the Bloods are so quick to jump out the window, it's funny, as a Blood member, you see how many individuals freeze up when it's time to put in work. You see how many individuals make up excuses when it's time to get nasty. You see how they just start disappearing when shit gets smoky. You feel me? So now that automatically puts all the homies that were in that housing unit on the spectrum at the table. So I guess without even saying a word, I remember we leaving the mess hall, and literally, I don't know, I'm not even know what's going on. Like, niggas didn't say nothing, because just like Scheme touched on his live earlier, you have niggas that'll jump out the window. You have niggas that will literally move for you without your instruction, without you saying anything, just because they feel like they have something to prove to you, something that they want to prove to show that they're in your level or in your group of social approval. And it's funny because we walk in, And I just see niggas going to the dorm. I see niggas going to G2. I'm thinking they housed in G2. Man, these two little niggas are walking into G2. All right? They don't even live in G2. They in a whole other housing unit, nigga. These little niggas that walked into G2 like they housed in that shit. Because in the medium it's a lot looser than the max. In the max, everywhere you go, you're in two lines with the police escorting you. You feel me? Except for Auburn. Auburn's like one of the only maxes where you get to walk free. But any other max, you're getting escorted by police in the hallways. In the medium, it's just the police sitting at the desk in the dorm where the bed is at. So you can come in and out, you can move if you smooth. And man, these two little niggas done walked in this nigga dorm. And apparently the Crip nigga in all places, where was he? The bathroom. You know what I'm saying? He was probably even in the bathroom smoking a cigarette, smoking some deuce, some cake too, or some shit. Who knows? But he was in the bathroom. They went into the dorm and they shot the shit out of that nigga. Now, when they shot him, the first thing they did is try to get out the dorm. You know, that's like a prison, just like in the prison movies. You can really actually get your shit off. And if you move, if son is a bitch ass nigga and he don't fight back, he don't really get busy, you can actually just walk away and get away with it. You understand what I'm saying? If nobody snitch. Yo, hit the like button. So now, while they trying to get away and they come outside the dorm, clear as day, you see he's not letting it go like that. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I can still think back in my memory. He's a little brown skin nigga with dreads, short dreads, so like right here. That nigga came out that motherfucking dorm and he just was hanging on to them niggas. You feel me? Like he just was trying to grab him. He wasn't even really trying to fight. You could tell he was just blowing it up. He was just making it hot. He wanted motherfuckers to get caught. You feel me? His main thing was, nah, fuck that. Niggas is not getting away. They're gonna get caught. Y'all cutting me, y'all getting caught for this shit. So now as he's running up, as they trying to get out the fucking door, I'm walking on the walkway. We just hear the door pop open. Boom. So when we look back, we just see this nigga motherfucking trying to run out. And as he trying to run out, he's grabbing this nigga. The other nigga tries to run past him. He grabs this nigga. So now they fucking him up. Boop, bop, boop, boop. He's not even fighting. Like I said, he's just hanging on, head down. His hair's everywhere. Because that's what made me remember his dreads. His hair's every fucking where. And he's just hanging on, like on the porch of the dorm and shit. So, you know, it's been so long, they're going to be out there making that type of ruckus before the CO in the dorm comes running outside. He presses the alarm. Now you start seeing the vans zooming, just like these in the street. They got the CO vans on the compound in the facility. You start seeing the vans zoom over there. Vans is flying. Police that's at the cafeteria, they running across the grass. They all blitzing G2 now. Man, when the white boys come to a situation, the first thing they do is get real aggressive with the individuals. Like, I'm talking about whoever was involved in that incident, they getting real physical with you. I'm talking about bending you up, boy, as they tell you, stop resisting, and they bending your arm behind your back. They getting free licks on you, free licks. So now, mind you, imagine when they find out that these little niggas didn't even live in this housing area. You wasn't even housed over here. So y'all came over here to do this shit? Oh, y'all got balls, huh? Man, you know, when they got to that small box, they got their ass whipped. Now, of course, this is just speculation at this point, but me knowing the culture and knowing how the police treat you after a physical altercation, the small box is the worst place that you want to be because there's usually no cameras. It's single cell. And it's no talking. I mean, like, literally no talking. You can't talk to your neighbor, none of that shit. You think you're going to talk, you won't eat. You're going to get a book. You're going to get a shower. And you're going to get a ticket, and you're going to have to stay in the box longer. There is no talking in the small box. Now, the small box, they usually keep you in there for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops. You feel me? And then they ship you off to the big box, which would be like a shoe 200 or something like that. But yo, while you sitting in that little small box, it's miserable. Imagine just being locked in your bathroom with a book or two to read, bro, and you can't talk for 2 to 3 weeks. You can't talk. They bring the food to you. And mind you, in this era, there was no phones in the box. Now, thanks to like prison legal society that went to, you know what I mean, bat for prisoners, people doing long durations and times in solitary confinement, due to them arguing to their benefit, now you could get phone calls and things like that in solitary confinement. But back then when I was up north, there were no phone calls in solitary confinement at all. So it's no phone, no TV, there's no radio in a small box. Like the shit is miserable as hell. So like, and usually when you get in there, because there's no cameras, that's when police take full advantage of you. And when I say take full advantage of you, it starts off like little silly shit like this. They'd be like, all right, listen to my directions and only do what I say. If you do anything other than what I say, we're gonna fuck you up. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Yes, say sir, say sir, yeah, say sir. You'll hit the like button, everybody. Make sure you hit the like button, press report, press share. So now they'll be putting pressure on you. Make sure you say sir, shit like that. Then they'll be like, I want you to take off your left boot with your right hand. So now as you're supposed to take off your left boot with your right hand. If your ass goes left hand, left boot, that's an ass whooping. I'm talking about literally, you have to follow step-by-step instructions or it's physical. Like, I would like you to take off your shirt with your left hand only, leaving your right hand fully extended. You're like, what the fuck? And if you do it any other way, ass whipping time. They're gonna say anything other than that is gonna be taken as an act of aggression. Like, and this is where them small boxes, bro, is when they take full advantage of you. That's when they get their licks off up north. You feel me? It's no cameras. And like I said, a lot of the people employed at these facilities are Caucasian men who live in these small towns around the facility. And these are the best jobs for the town. Like, so now, prime example, I probably seen, I could count on maybe both hands how many, yo, CK salute. I could count on maybe both hands how many black correctional officers I've seen in my time up north. And when I say that, I mean like it's bad. The black officers get treated like convicts. They get treated like outsiders too, because now, as much as we try to shun and say racism has been 400 years ago and it's old, it's not really an issue today. It's still very much an issue in these small towns. And a lot of these facilities, especially in New York State, are in these small towns. So racism is still very much alive. Like, and in these occasions is when they take the opportunity to letting it out on you, to actually, you know what I mean, telling you how they feel about you, feeling free to call you a nigga, whispering all type of racist shit in your ear. It's nasty, man. That's a message to all the kids, man, that the gang culture, man, is really like a big an illusion, a big ass illusion. You putting on, you risking your freedom, you making enemies, you doing things, chasing this big dream of illusion of what a big homie is supposed to be or what a big homie's supposed to get in return of getting that seat. And then when you finally land there, you actually don't get nothing but a headache. You actually don't get nothing but politics and slander and people coming for your seat, coming for your spot, trying to dethrone you. And that's the reality of the situation. Not only that, you can end up in a federal case looking Casanova because of people around you and you just being an influence and them feeling the need to share the things that they're doing in their life with you. And that already could tie you into a conspiracy. You understand what I'm saying? Because y'all share the same entity. And it's so nasty how just being an influential individual can put you in a fucked up situation. Just having an influence. That's why we got to try to be mindful of the influence when we have one. And that's why, even though I just slipped the last 48 hours, might have got back into an old habit, addressed certain things across that I should have just brushed off, kept behind the scenes. As a grown man, like I always stress to y'all, it's through my imperfections that I get better. It's through me making these fucked up decisions that I learn from. You feel me? But hey, we learning, we growing, and every day is another mission Every day's another struggle, another plan, another plot, trying to make it happen, man. But salute to everybody that stayed with me in the chat. I hope y'all enjoyed the story. I hope y'all caught the jewel. Never be no one's pop-off dummy. Never be no one's missile, man. Understand, if you are influential individual, be mindful of the influence that's around you. And with that, salute to the next one. This was definitely the best one. Enjoy.